Thank you for listening to Ingram Law. As always, we appreciate you being a guest tonight. Our podcast is on questions to ask before you hire a criminal defense attorney. Our website is joeingramlaw.com. Our phone number is 205 335 2640. As always, we do take your questions off the air and get back to you. If you have been charged with a crime, having the support of a good criminal defense attorney can make all the difference in the process, in the outcome of your case, and in your life going forward as well. Not every attorney is the right attorney for you or your situation. If you call me about a criminal matter, we will have a brief discussion over the phone. Next, I will set up a consultation with you or with your family if you are in custody. And we will have a good dialogue and rapport, as that is necessary when you're hiring a criminal defense attorney. When you are considering hiring a defense attorney, it is one that can help you find the best possible outcome. Now, not everybody's personalities will mesh. Sometimes I can tell from the very first meeting, I don't think I will be able to represent you because I think we may have a personality conflict. However, doing this for over 20 years of practicing in criminal law and my network of lawyers throughout the state of Alabama and in the Birmingham market, I'm sure that one of my colleagues that I will be able to refer will be able to assist you. And I don't mind doing that. I do it every week. I refer people to other clients as well. One of the first questions you want to ask is, how long has your lawyer been practicing law in the state of Alabama? That's a very fair question. In my particular case, I have been practicing law for over 20 years. At this stage of my life, about 50% of my practice is devoted to criminal law, and 50% of my practice is devoted to family law. I still do the worker comp cases as they come in, but that's not a general part of my practice anymore. So I spend a good majority of my time handling criminal cases throughout the state of Alabama, anywhere from Huntsville to Birmingham to Mobile, even Montgomery. I am usually in a criminal courtroom one day out of the week somewhere. I have developed a network of colleagues and attorneys throughout the state that I can call on when I have cases in those parts of the state as well. It is important that your criminal defense attorney not only have years of experience, but the right kinds of experience and specialization. I might not necessarily have handled your particular criminal charge in the last year, but I have had enough criminal case experience that I can get up to speed and represent you at a criminal charge relatively quickly. The next question to ask is about their educational and their professional credentials. That's a fair question. What bar associations are you a member of? Have you ever been sanctioned or reprimanded by the Alabama State Bar? Those are posted on the Alabama State Bar website. No, I've never been sanctioned. No, I've never been reprimanded by the State Bar. I'm in good standing with both the State Bar and the federal courts as well. You might want to do a little research on your lawyer to ask them how many cases like mine before, to find out if the attorney has a good number of cases, who is knowledgeable about the charges you face, as well as a lawyer who has experience handling clients facing similar charges, can save you a lot of time and money, and most likely have a better outcome for you overall. You may also want to ask, what type of similar cases have you gone to trial on? And what were the case results in those cases? Now, every case is unique as to its set of facts. Another good question to ask your lawyer is, what is your success rate? In real life criminal law, wins and losses are determined in degrees of outcome of cases. Your attorney that has experience with clients in situations similar to yours as a good start, but you also want an attorney who is likely to find a successful outcome. A successful outcome for one client not be the same successful outcome for another client. Every case, as I said, is unique. And you want to find an attorney who has a good record for finding the best possible outcome for you as the client in your situation. Another question to ask your attorney is, do you have any testimonials from clients that I can read? And if you go on my Google webpage, you'll see client testimonials there. I have been practicing law for over 20 years. I've had close to 850 actual clients. We just started doing Google reviews a couple years ago. It's always hard to ask a client to do a Google review. Sometimes they don't want to put their personal life out on the internet. So if you put yourself in their shoes, think about that a little bit. But sometimes clients will do it. We ask every client at the end of every case. You can make it as anonymous as you like. And you can talk about just about your experience that you had with me or my office representing you, the kind of rapport we had, the kind of communication you had with us. Most good criminal lawyers will have testimonials from other clients. You'll even see some testimonials from other lawyers, and they're glad to provide those to you to share them with you if you feel like it'll help you to fight your case. Another good question to ask your attorney is, how often do your cases go to trial in criminal proceedings? Trials can be tiring, stressful, and very costly. In some situations, the best possible outcome you can have for your case is one that comes quickly to an end by negotiating with the prosecutor to settle out of court through a plea bargain. Your attorney may be able to help you avoid appearing in court multiple times in front of a judge or a jury. As I've said before, there are degrees of winning and there are degrees of losing in a criminal case. And that's the real life truth of what we do in criminal law every day. Take, for instance, Jefferson County alone. If we were to try every case in Jefferson County, we would be backlogged for probably over 200 years. The cold, hard truth is that 90% of all criminal cases are resolved in some manner other than a trial. That does not mean that I am not prepared or willing to try your case. I'm just telling you the cold, hard truth of criminal law. The next question to ask your lawyer will be one primarily working who is primarily working on my case. Now, in a big firm, there may be a partner, an associate, paralegal, secretary. I'm a solo practitioner. I have administrative support staff. So if you come to me, I will primarily be responsible for your case, other than the administrative work, which we will discuss if you come in to hire me. Another good question is, I get asked this a lot, is how strong is my case? Now, no lawyer, and I am going to stress this and say this again because I get calls every day that are terrifying. No lawyer should guarantee you or can guarantee you a specific result or outcome in a criminal case. And you should be wary as someone tells you, because A, it's unethical by the state bar. And as an experienced attorney and knowledgeable, they should be able to evaluate and give you a preliminary information about your case and maybe an assessment of possible ranges of penalties. We can discuss the strengths and weaknesses of your case, which will shape the defense strategy to represent you in your case. So it's not unreasonable for me to talk about ranges of punishments, but I can't guarantee you what's going to happen in your case. That's just unethical. I can give you a pretty good idea of a range of punishments. Now, if you tell me from the beginning, and this is where we start out with attorney-client privilege and building a relationship of honesty and trust. Mr. Ingram, I wasn't there. I didn't do it. I don't know anything about it. I'll follow that story with you until we receive the first round of discovery from the state or the city prosecutor. If they have physical evidence, 8x10 glossies, people that can identify you as the suspect, that will change how we look at your case. It'll also change how our relationship will change and how truthful and honest you are with me to represent you. The only way a lawyer can get you the best possible outcome is for you to be completely candid, honest, and truthful with your lawyer. With that being said, please keep in mind that I am bound by attorney-client privilege. What stays in my office stays in my office. It doesn't leave. It never does, and it never will. You may ask, what role will I play in my case? Well, the two biggest decisions you will make are A, do you choose to go to trial? And B, whether or not you take the stand. Those are always your two decisions constitutionally. I always put those in writing to my client before trial, whether or not I advised them to go to trial and they took my advice, and B, whether or not I think they should have taken the stand and whether or not they took my advice. That covers me on appeal. So, in today's world, plea offers are not bad outcomes, especially for first-time offenders. In today's society, there are a number of diversion programs or court-sanctioned, court-approved programs where you can take classes so that it's not devastating for you or your ability to make a living in the future because of one criminal mistake you might have made. We didn't have all these programs 20 years ago that we have today. One thing I always encourage my clients to do, there's so much more social media than there was 20 years ago. I'll ask you to do some of your own research on social media programs and networks. You will definitely be told more than once, do not discuss your case with anyone. Do not discuss your case with anyone. You will be advised to comply with the police. If they come to your home with a search warrant, let them exercise the search warrant. But you don't have to talk to the police. You're not there to help them. Just let them do their job. Another very important question to ask your potential criminal defense attorney is, how often will you communicate with me, and how will you communicate with me? Now, first of all, if you are in custody, I say this with all sincerity and not to be rude. I do not babysit you. I do not come to the jail every week just to sit down and have a heart-to-heart chat with you. I have too many cases to do that. If you are in custody, I will come to see you when I have relevant information that I need to share with you about your defense and keep you informed. If you are not in custody, I am available almost 18 hours a day, either by phone or email. There's not too many lawyers in Birmingham that are more responsive to their clients than me, and you will find that from my Google reviews. I'm pretty accessible. I am very accessible to my clients. So that's not going to be an issue with me. I have clients come to me every day that I take their case. Mr. Ingram, my lawyer will not return my call. I don't understand that, because you've hired me in probably one of the biggest decisions in your life, and I should be accessible to you, and I hold that in high regard, and I do that. I do not like to text with clients because there's not a paper trail there to protect you or me. So if we don't talk by phone, it'll be by email. That way there is a paper trail. Finally, the most important thing to talk about tonight is, how much will a defense case cost? Now, this is not the time in your life to go bargain shopping for the cheapest lawyer in town. I have done this for 20 years. And I know that people call me tomorrow for a criminal case, have either A, already called other lawyers, they're lawyer shopping, or B, they will call another lawyer after they talk to me and they're shopping for fees. I understand that part of the game. It's part of life. Everybody has a budget. But if you call 3 lawyers and you get 3 distinctly different fees, let's say you have a first-time DUI, and you say, Joe, I want you to get me the best possible outcome. I probably understand I'm going to lose my license for 90 days. I want to do a diversion program. I may say my charge is $1,000 to $1,500. If you call another lawyer under the same set of facts and scenario, and they tell you $4,000, and then you call a third lawyer, same scenario, set of facts scenario, they tell you $7,500, I think it's a no-brainer. For a first-time DUI diversion program, you go with a lawyer that tells you $1,500. Now, if you are a commercial driver, that is a totally separate, different issue, because if you get a DUI, you lose your license to make a living. So that's not the same as a residential driver. Commercial drivers are different. Talking about criminal law fees, I may give you a range over the phone. I don't necessarily like to quote fees over the phone in criminal cases unless we have a good conversation and I have a good understanding of what kind of outcome you're looking for. There's just too many mind traps and things that can happen in the criminal justice system. I charge fees based upon whether or not your case is in municipal court, district court, or circuit court. If you are in a state court and your case is set for a jury trial, I may charge you more to get the case up to speed. If your case is in municipal court, it is always a bench trial. If your case is in federal court, there is a pretty good rule of thumb that all of the federal judges follow, and they have for a number of years. If you are charged with a federal crime, your lawyer is going to ask for at least half, if not all of the fee up front. And here's why. If you don't pay me, we get into the case 6 months. I can't tell the court, Judge, my client has not paid my fee. I'd like to be excused from representing them. The judge will tell me very politely and very candidly and very forwardly, Mr. Ingram, you made a bad business decision with your client. This is your client. Go do your job. So for that rule of thumb, if you call some of my colleagues in the state of Alabama about a federal case, they're going to ask for at least half the fee, if not more, up front to represent you. The stakes are so much higher, and we will talk about federal court in future podcasts. So that's just a little bit about hiring a criminal defense attorney in the state of Alabama. Again, we would be glad to talk with you. We talk to people every day of the week. Our phone number is 205-335-2640. Our website is joeingramlaw.com. As we always say, take care of yourself and each other, and have a good night. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.